Hey there, I am JB and welcome at Artville City Skylines 2. For some reason, I really enjoy this view right down here. I really like to do my intro. I just love the cars going down the road here, having roads going over this road, and seeing all kinds of sorts of traffic going on right down here near this roundabout. Now, in the last episode, we have been starting up the forest industry, which is all the way in the back right down there, and they have a little bit of an issue at the moment, which all seems to be about high-skilled labor. Yeah, so they need more employees with high education level, which over time will be fine. Because right down here we are building a new neighborhood. Now I've also noticed something with high renting once again. And I do also notice that these buildings, or this ground at least, is quite large. And I just want to delete this guy. And then they are plopping down smaller ones, which is also very nice. So I'm just going to go all over the place. And I think I've also noticed once you select the building and then use the remove tool, the tool will automatically disappear, right, as you see. But as long as you don't select the building, the tool should stay. So let's test that out. I don't have anything selected. I'm going to delete that one, and I'm still holding the tool. I'm going to delete that one too. And I guess by just deleting a couple of these builds, it will help with the rent. Now I also see this down here, which kind of surprises me, because this is not like a normal building. This is a special building. This is the Theater Actor Mansion, which also has a high rent. The building occupants have trouble paying the rent. A higher zone density or a different zoning might be needed. Now, a higher density. You know, like, do I need to build like completely dense in here? More buildings, more stuff? Or it says different zoning, right? Different zoning. What do they mean with zoning? That's this? Zones. What kind of buildings are allowed to be built and where? Now this is something that I find a little bit of a shame. Now of course we are playing like normal mode, so there are difficulties, there are things to balance out all the time, rather than playing a sandbox mode, which shouldn't complain at all, right? In this case we have complaints, that's just the way how it works with this game. I'm just going to leave it as it is, because if these people, like, they're happy. And let's just see what will happen with this building over time. We're gonna take a little look at that later on. But for all of these other builds, we can just take this bulldoze tool. We're just going to move them. Now these buildings down here, they cannot change. And that is fine. Just going to kick these people out of their houses, which is kind of a weird thing though. But in order to get rid of the complaining, it will help. Now, industrial wise, let me just take a look here. This is, by the way, a commercial zone. Not enough customers. It makes some sense. Now, I would like to actually take a little look at the air pollution. There's no air pollution down here, right? Which is very good. Let's take a look at ground pollution. Now, ground pollution in this case is really bad. But over time, this should clear up. And I was thinking, what if we can take care down here that we're actually building some houses? We're gonna make another like house district here, purely to send some more people to this area down here. And with that being said, let's also take a look down here. Now, making some houses here is going to be difficult because of the pollution. There's a lot of pollution stuff going on, ground pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, so it's going to be a bit difficult. But let's see what will happen over time. There is some space down here. There are no buildings that can be affected by all of that stuff, which is very good. Now also another thing that I have noticed, slowly but surely, and this is something that is logic, is that I am getting unhappy with certain things that I've been doing in this game. Now, I've also been saying I don't want to restart because this game takes a long time to get to a certain spot unless you're like speed building and trying to just do everything as quick as possible, which I'm also not really looking forward to, right? I just want to enjoy, and that is also where it's about with the series. But I am going to change things over time. Now, also, what I should be doing is spend a little bit more time in attention to detail. Now, in the last episode, I had talked about a comment. I believe his name was Murky, and Murky was saying more roundabouts. I should be placing more roundabouts, especially at spots that are not busy at all, right? Just some country or county roads. I should be placing them. People can just, you know, keep on moving, which is just a very nice thing to do. Now, of course, you have the forest industry. And what I should be doing with these roads, in this case, there doesn't seem to be any trouble. I do hope, let me just play the game for a bit, that there are automatic traffic rules, right? And I'm not sure in which country has what rules. But here in the Netherlands, if you come from the right, the people on the right are always having, they can go first. I'm not sure how to say it in English, but they can go first. You have to stop. And, you know, roundabouts, slowly but surely the world implemented them everywhere. And people slowly but surely get to know the rules of the roundabout. They're kind of the same all over the place, so. Now, there's also some different other traffic rules, which I do understand. So, for an example, we're going to remove the traffic lights here. I do believe that this road, no, it's not this road. So, this road's definitely going to need to have also a roundabout. Now, roundabouts only work for a certain amount of traffic. If traffic gets too busy, apparently traffic lights work better than roundabouts. I'm not sure if I have understand it correctly from Befa, the YouTuber that also plays City Skylines. Now, in this case, for a road like this, we have a bigger road and a smaller road. Now, I wanted to say before, I think I understand that if I remove the traffic light here, automatically certain rules will be added to this place. Because you can see there is this sign right down here, and I believe this sign is saying automatically to the traffic that comes from this area, if some cars coming from the left or right, depending on where you need to go to, you have to wait, they go first. And I'm not sure if that sign is here. No, the sign is not here though. But yeah, I don't know what this is called. And I need to apply this a lot more all over the place. And this is sometimes that little thing that I forget to do. And yes, it takes a bit of work now and then. But it's just click and go type of work, right? So I kind of done this whole road right down here. This road down here. So this is all nice. And this is something that I actually should be doing off camera. Just spend a little bit of time fixing things up for just a little bit. And, you know, in this case, it is not too bad because there is also automatic despawning going on, which not everyone is happy about. So, in this case, for an example, I've been saying I'm not happy with everything. And in this case, I'm absolutely not happy with this neighborhood down here. I don't like it. It's too... like, this should have been a European map, right? That I'm playing. I wanted to make things look European. And it definitely doesn't look European at all. And it's difficult to make it look realistic, actually, without keeping in mind that you need to take a look at, let's say, reference images of towns. Now, not only that, I've been saying before in the last episode, it is quite difficult to make things look historical correct. First of all, because there is no train track going throughout this place. which I find a little bit of a shame and a little bit of a, not especially going to say mistake from the developers, but it is something that should be laying throughout your area. Yes, it is in the way of where you want to build. That's the whole trick here, to build along with it. Which is, you know, just like this place right down here. This should be in the middle of your first tile. And then you're going to keep this in mind, build around it. And I've been thinking before City Skylines 2 came out, and I think I even been talking about this, they should be making like somehow a little village or more buildings in your starting tile, and maybe do something with it that you, if you don't delete the buildings, it's gonna give you some sort of bonus, and you don't delete those roads, it's gonna give you some sort of bonus. Now I do believe in City Skylines 1 you have something that was called a historical building option. So you basically click the building and then you could select historical. And historical should also be an option then, along with the buildings that are already in the map and the roads. But if you don't delete them, you're gonna get a bonus. You can upgrade them, you cannot delete them. Of course you can delete them, but then you won't get a bonus. And I think this would give a little bit more of a challenge, besides that things look more historical correct. Because in this map, where did it all started? There's not really a clear thing of where my map started. Yeah, we started building in this area, but historical, this doesn't look correct at all. And you know, I still want to continue, which I'm going to do right now. But I just want to let you know that at some point, I really would love to start a new map and make things look historical correct. Alright, I just had to think for a couple of seconds because, you know, I shouldn't only be talking. I should also be doing some of this and some of that. Now, we have this area down here and I could place down another grid, but it doesn't look European. Things need to look incredibly randomized. Now what I do want to do is place a high school right down here, and with this high school it's going to be a little bit of guessing because there is no way to see the total size of this thing. Now I am going to make things look a little bit nice, so let's just do it like this. And I'm always working with this grid system. I'm always looking at the grid and then build it like that, which is something that I would slowly try to learn to get rid of, because that makes things, yeah, this also looks uneven. That is probably the way how the road has been built, and this is something that I sometimes also struggle with. Now what I'm just going to do for fun, just gonna say, let's just build this here and then just fix this road afterwards, like that. Yeah, it's, oh man, I can be so critic onto my own stuff. Like what is this? What is going on down here? that doesn't look correct at all. I need to try to fix that. And then what I'm going to look at is the expansion. Now before doing that, now I'm thinking of it, let's go back to the overall stuff. And first of all, let me just plop down some buildings, right? Because everything goes along the way too. Okay, let me just first do what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do is this school down here. There is something besides upgrading that I have noticed. Let's just upgrade it with, I think I wanted to have it here, right? That was a very long time ago, but let's just plop it right down here. Look at that. That is a beautiful sports field. Yeah, I like that, especially in this neighborhood. I mean, yeah, sure, there will be some noises someday, but you know, this would have been here before this neighborhood, I guess. Anyways, we can also upgrade this guy with, well, we don't have to upgrade it just yet. The thing that I did notice, and now I see looking at it, it's a different building, right? I wanted to click on this one. So yeah, down here it says 1000 students out of 1000 students, which basically means we're going to need to upgrade this. Now this will help injure injuries. Let's place this injuries thing right down there, partly right down there. And then let's upgrade it with this one extension wing, which will add spots for 500 more students. Now this is also another thing with making districts, because you can also select certain districts to certain schools. And there are also some people that complain about, oh, I need to build so many schools. But look at your own town. There are probably a lot of schools. I mean, if I think about the old town I lived in, there are a lot of these kind of elementary schools and high schools and whatnot. So yeah, you need to assign districts. The reason why I'm saying that is because this school down here in this tiny little neighborhood is already on its max, which is just crazy, right? Now, I want to test something, right? So let's just go into specialized zoning. No, that's this one. And in this case, let me just make a zone. Right now we have here Chestnut Dale. So in Chestnut Dale, what we can do, I do believe, if we click this one, select an operating district. And if we click on Chestnut Dale, that basically means, I believe over time though, it should force people only from Chestnut Dale to go to school, which is in Chestnut Dale. So nobody on the outside is going to be allowed on this school. It might sound a little bit too forced, but this should help over time with not getting certain schools overpopulated and others underpopulated, which is a good thing. Now this is also something I need to keep in mind for the future. Like there's so many things, because this is basically my first map where I started with, and I made so many little mistakes. Which is logic, you learn from the game from the first time, and then later on you'll be like, oh, I need to do this different or that different. The whole learning curve, but it's, long story short, it's getting a little bit messy. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to make this down here look more historical correct to say. So I'm just going to put down my finger once again. Not seeing anything. Get rid of these stupid parking lots, thank you. And then get rid of that one. And I do believe this should be the max. And I'm saying historical correct, but I'll guess the more we go into the future, also the more things getting gridded and lesser. People try to keep in mind the future a lot more, that's what I'm trying to say. So what we could be doing here is we're going to make like a tiny little commercial zone, what I had before. And in this case, what I'm going to do is just randomly just pick a road entrance here. I'm just say right down here. And let's turn the things off. Let's just drop it like this, right? And then I'm gonna take a traffic thing. Now that looks very out of place, by the way, so let's just need to be a little bit careful with what I'm doing here, like this. And let's make it at least a little bit square-ish, like that. And let's take a look at it. Is this correct? Well, this is not really correct. What I should be doing here is turn that around to make it a lot more sense. So I mean these one-way road, turn them around so at least it looks more correct. And let's also put this one right over there. And let's straight away look at the traffic situation. Let's turn that one off. Let's also take a look at the roading tools. Let's turn this one off. I mean, you don't always have to go around in circles like that. And then let's take a look here. Get rid of the traffic lights. And let's add in a roundabout like there. And one right down here for the future. Now let's take this road here. And let's just completely random connect this guy up here. And let's also do a one-way from this one to that. This kind of randomized things a little bit more like that. Now in this case that would be okay. Yeah, that's fine. And let's take out from that. This is gonna be a little square-ish, a little bit. I'm just going to move this around like that and like this. Have another street right down here. And on this way, it should look way better. Let's also add this guy right down here and do another one-way right down here. So it's getting a little more messy. And this is the only reason why I'm doing that is because I just want to show you that I think for a city town where it all started, it kind of should be looking like this, right? It should be looking more messy. Now, not only that, there's also another thing that I would really like to do, which I'm going to do right now, is make use of alleyways. Because I've also been thinking about this. I wish there were, I mean, there are, but maybe, yeah, okay, let me just test it, okay? Because there are a lot of shopping stores that have these kind of roads, right, on the back. And then from the back, they supply the stores, right, especially at very busy type of deals. Now you can already see this is already causing trouble. I need to go around like that, go around like this, and then that, and then connect this up. This is something you see in back alleys. Now, I especially had to think of Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, sure, this is also causing a little bit of trouble here and there. Should be able to just fix that by just doing something like that. Nope, no more trouble. So it doesn't like one spotters. I'm not sure what I'm saying here. So yeah, this. But the problem with this is that people are driving these roads too, right? People don't do that in real life. Not as quickly as stuff. What I'm trying to say here. Let me get rid of these sidewalks. And I'm just gonna keep the arrows onto the road there. It's okay. Also another problem is that probably some shopping stores will be... Yeah, you see, like, I need to do this differently because certain shop is now going to face this road. And that is something that I don't want to, which is I'm thinking about right now. So, I wish I could change these roads to sidewalks, which I cannot do. So I have to go one by one. Let me just fix this up. So it's also a little experiment for me to try to do this the correct way. So apparently the best thing to do is first make a layout with normal walking paths, because buildings don't attach to them, and then just basically start messing around with building. Now also I want to keep in mind, yeah, I don't want to use too much low density anymore. I want to keep building like a little bit like these guys. Now it's also something to figure out, like how large can you build them. Okay, these ones are fine. I'm going to get a little bit of an issue down here. Yeah, you know, this is the whole thing that like, it is so difficult to figure out like what is okay, what is not okay. Like, okay, you cannot do that, you can also not do this. Maybe that would be allowed. Yeah, okay, this is allowed. Then can I please make it... No, this is also not allowed. So let's remove that one and let's just do this one in here. This is going to be a lot of forwards and backwards type of deal, and this is also not allowed. So let's get rid of that, and let's make one of these. That is perfect. Now this, I'm going to have the same issue. I'm just gonna make it... That's fine. Gonna get an issue here. Nope, this is also fine. I believe okay, let's test it. No, I thought so. This is something, you know, keep in mind that it's not always possible to do whatever I'm doing here. So I'm going to need to make a mixture building, which is actually not too bad of a thing to use a mixture of stuff, because that makes the city, you know, look like this and look like that, to quickly say. This is fine. Can I have a huge one here? Yes. Okay, finally. So here it... Oh, there's something not okay here. Ah, I had it almost. What is going on? Hey, that's weird. No padding allowed here. Why is that so? You know what? It's okay. I'm going to fix up another between-in road here. So now I want to get rid of all of these ones. I'm gonna fix another thing in here. What I did before. To make things look more realistic. And this is something I really want to work towards too. Oh no, this is going to break that stuff. Ah, why are you doing this to me, game? Okay, this one is up front. This is also something to be very careful with. So let's just fix it like this, like that. Please, yeah, okay. For some reason, I think it has something to do with this. Yep, with that. So I'm just going to make use of a normal pathway down here. Just a little grass patch, which is okay. And let's fix this and that. And now let's just, yeah, look at how the ground looks like. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Why are you doing that, game? Oh, you see that? Why is that a thing? Why can't you not just go straight? Let's try that straight. Okay. Let's remove this one. Okay, now it's fixed. Okay, I can understand why certain things happen. They just need to be tweaked, I guess. So in this case, I'm going to fix this up. And yes, there's a little bit of a talk about this in that episode, but I just want to, you know, let you guys also know what I'm capable of doing. Let's just this one I want to keep right down here. I think. Yeah, let's keep that one there. One can be removed. Basically, we would like to actually have these alleyways removed, except for this one. Yeah, maybe later on I can add in another pathway. Oh, we can without. Oh, okay. Let's just do that. That's okay. This is all going to be fine like this. And I would love to see how this end result looks like, because I think this is going to be very nice. And this is how the area now looks like. And I am so much more happier than what I had here at the beginning, very like square-ish and having like tiny little like pathways at the sides. I don't mind to have these pathways everywhere at the sides, and maybe I can show you an example of like what I mean with these pathways. I guess it's like this down here, having corners with nothing in there. It's okay for certain parts, but I don't want to have it repeating all over the place. So in this case, it just looks way different like this. Like just, you know, of course there are some parts where I can place anything, but just placing some trees down here and don't look at it for too much is something to solve this problem of having these pathways all over the place, because I just don't know what else to do with it. Now of course over here it's just a little bit bigger, and then you can just make like a little pathway like that. You know, just imagine there are some benches, people can just sit there, relax, or there's like a sneaky way, you know, to skip certain parts. Or, as I have been doing right down here, it just plop down a park like this. And it's something, you know, nice that I figured this out, that you can actually fill in the corners like that, instead of just having pathways going from the side and have nothing in there, and have everything always look squared up, which is something that I also don't like. Now in this case there is a lot of square stuff going on in here, but at least it looks way more randomized. It looks way more accurate to real life, like having like different distance of pieces of roads going on, having one ways, having non one ways, like thicker ways, thinner ways, having like so many different type of buildings in here. Now of course, if I'm going to take a look at it, you guys have seen before, I've been using this one, I've been using that one, and then at some point by accident I was using these ones, which is in this case not a bad thing. I've just placed them here in the middle, you know, to create a little bit of people to shop around in this area, and anything else just make it shop area, and this makes it look so much more randomized, which I like a lot. Yes, here in the back there are a couple of bigger boys and there are some smaller boys, and yeah, there is so much more going on, and I just like this way better. Now of course things can look still even more better, but this is something that I need to learn over time, of course. But it just, yeah, it just starts to look way nicer like this, and having this like how it is, if it's about like going uphill. What in the world is that? I just see all of a sudden a battle fire down here, and are these homeless people? Oh wow, it is. Really making a cozy little place for yourself, ain't it? Something I done as a kid, you know. Now of course this is not nice if you know, being a full adult and you have to live in parks and stuff. This basically means I'm going to add down some of these cheap rent buildings, which is not a problem. There is enough spots and places for that, which I'm going to eventually will do. Yeah, but this small project proves that there is space for improvement, and it can make it look way more natural. And yeah, I wanted to say, having this go uphill like this without key walls also makes it feel way more realistic. I mean, if you look like this, I'm not sure, I think there was a camera. I'm not sure if I understand that correct, that there was a camera that makes you walk. Or am I being confused with Planet Zoo? Oh, well, anyways, so if you go up here, it just feels so much more like, especially for me living in the Netherlands, that I'm in a different country or different part of Europe, needing to walk uphill. And I just like all these buildings left and right. It just looks so much more nice. And then this pathway going up like that. Yeah, it's just so much more nice. I just love it a lot more. And I do not mind all of this stretching out stuff. Because, yeah, if that is something that I have to deal with, but still having it way more realistic, then I'd rather choose for that. So anyways, if you guys have any tips and tricks, let me know. If you guys, you know, want me to completely spend a little bit of renovation time to this map, also let me know. And then let's see what it's going to be for next episodes. Oh, can we actually read this sign down here? We grab this view. Let's see. Like, look at how detailed this gem is. It's just crazy. I'm not sure if this is a real language or just Sims gobbledygook. Fire, eye, and fly.